words of wisdom you'd like to give us?
Hold on a second. No, I just got the recording in process just popped up. And this I wanted to come here. I talked to Wayne, but I know when you and I talked earlier about the concept of doing the matchmaking. So I was really interested to see how this goes. I want to find out and learn as much as I can, just to see how we can use our resources to be part of this. And I'm glad to see you reach out to other states. If I need to contact some of the other district directors, I may be able to get some of them involved as well. So I'm here to learn as much as I can.
Thank you. So for those that don't know, Michael Barrera is the director at the Kansas City office for the Small Business Administration. Michael, what is your district's name?
I'm at the Kansas City district office. We actually cover the western part of Missouri down to Springfield all the way up to Iowa, and then we cover like a third of Kansas. It goes all the way to Topeka, into Topeka, goes down to Pittsburgh, and goes up north as well.
Thank you. Well, we are very excited that you're here because, to your point about the matchmaking, we were challenged at having to move our matchmaking conference because of the conflict with Tinker Air Force Base and wanting to bring in multiple states into this, ignoring the fact that we were exactly on the same dates as Tinker just didn't make sense because we've got great partners with our Oklahoma SBDC. So having to, or as I've seen others do, well, we've already said this is the date, to ignore that wouldn't have made sense. So we've moved it. And the good news is we think because of the movement into encountering innovation, it's actually going to make for a much better conference. With your input and questions and thoughts today, hopefully we'll all see that that's the case. And I see as the crowd it starts to expand. Did I see Wayne Bell? Yeah, Wayne, there he is. Hey, Wayne, good to have you.
Hey, Alan, thank you.
So I was just giving everyone a little bit of an update. Today's Lunch and Learn is being recorded as an outreach piece. We're going to explain about encountering innovation past and then matchmaking forward, and understand, and hopefully with everyone, we've specifically invited a few people in to make sure that we hear from you, to where we've invited someone from Encountering Innovation as far back as 2018. I think I even see Anne, I think you were here in 2017. So we've got several that are here from Encountering Innovation from the past. We've got someone who has already applied for 2021, and then from a matchmaking perspective. So we're trying to get a little bit of a conversation, and as I challenged everyone, we're on the launch pad. So we're not asking you, hey, can we start with a whole new vehicle? No, we're on the launch pad. We're going to launch. So it's more of fine tuning what we're doing and query if you've got a question about what we start to explain from Jessica, from the host platform perspective, or our intent, or even our intake. We're going to give you a little bit of an idea of what the platform looks like. We're actually going to show the intake, where we give you a little bit of an understanding, because this is an outreach video that we're recording today as we reach out to multiple states. I think with that in mind, it's after 12. I want to thank everyone from the different states. I see Mississippi. I'm going to see if I can do this right. I see Mississippi, Derek. I see Jamie from Colorado. I see Bijou from Texas. Rick from Kansas. Way to go, Rick. I think you're our second regional director today. We've got Jessica, who's our host, so she kind of doesn't count. So Rick's our regional director from Hayes. Glad to have you, Rick. And then let's see, states. And then Jessica. Did I see Jessica? Yeah, there's Jessica from Oklahoma. As the pictures move, I kind of lose people. So with that in mind, hopefully I've acknowledged the different states. If I've missed you, please let us know. We're glad to have you. And then we've got, I want to make sure to recognize Michael Barrera and Wayne Bell. Wayne's at with SBA. at our Wichita district office. So what we're going to do with that in mind, I know Jessica has to get off fairly soon. So we're going to turn it over to Jessica. And what I'm asking her to do is to give you an idea of what the host platform looks like, how it interacts. And so first and foremost, I challenge you, the innovators, those of you that are either advanced manufacturing or innovation tech or matchmaking, whichever you are, as you see this, if you have a curiosity, please speak up, because Jessica and Valerie do a great job with this. We think it's pretty powerful, but if you don't understand something, then maybe we're missing how we're saying it. So make sure you ask questions as she does her demo tour. With that in mind, Jessica, I'll turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Alan. Happy to be here. Hi, everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. What you're about to see is the platform. We're using Excelevents, and it's the same platform. If you were here last year, the same platform we used for the virtual conference last year. And without further ado, let me start sharing. All right. Do we have a visual?
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, so the main platform, what you're seeing, this is last year's conference with a little bit of a modern update to it. Excelevents has done an update to their entire platform, so it has a more modern feel. It does have a feel much like social media when you're first on here. You have what we're in right now is the lobby info desk. So your main area, when you're log on to the platform for the conference, this is where you will land. You have a news feed where we push out different messages to all conference goers. Here in this main section, your news feed, you have your agenda, which it will take a little bit. If you just want to see the sponsors and speakers, you can click here. If you want to see info desk, we post different FAQs. So a lot of the information that Alan and his team are doing on the back ends as far as tutorials and how-tos and for pitchers and for matchmakers will go here, as well as navigating the platform in case you get turned around. On the right-hand side, you have a chat area where you can chat with the entire group that's on the conference. You can see this is chat from last year. Bijou, you're on here, so we can see your messages from last year. If you extend it out, there are different channels. These channels are the different rooms that are associated with the conference. So if you have the main stage, if you have a breakout session, there's separate chats in each one of those virtual rooms. And this is how you can navigate those more quickly than going into that actual room. Also, you can have direct messages with a person. So here I had messages with Valerie. We were testing the system. You can see our little jibber jabbers here. But you can see that you can just have direct messages right here easily on the, I'm gonna call it the home screen of the conference. Valerie, anything else to add on this top page?
I think in that last section you were talking about down the right-hand side of the screen where the chat, I believe that does automatically update when you do go into a special session. So you won't have to work quite so hard. If you're in the main stage, it should default to that main stage as it's happening, I believe from last year. This is just an easy way to go back into something that may have already occurred.
Awesome. Okay.
Can I ask a dumb question? If I tell Alan his hair looks bad on that chat, is it just going to go to Alan? And
If
nobody else can view it?
The default right now is if you're in that right-hand side, I believe, well, Jessica hopped into a conferences nearly over section. If you're just on that main homepage, it'll go to everybody. So have fun.
Okay, so just be careful about how I tell Alan
That is hair. Got it.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
yes. Up here, you want to talk about the top area?
Yeah, that top area at the right-hand side where Jessica's kind of hovering around her own face where it says, hello, Jessica, that's similar to social media as well. So if you click on the hello, insert your name here, it will let you add a bunch of stuff about yourself if you like. You don't have to fill this out, but the more you do, the more everybody would learn about you. You can even turn off some things where if you even don't want to accept direct messages or email notifications, you can, turn those off as well, similar to social media. And you can add a photo of yourself. You can add a little tagline, where you work, that kind of thing. Next to it, that little bell up at the top is your notifications. So exactly like social media, if somebody did try to get a hold of you or send you a direct chat, it'll pop up a little number there that says, hey, you have a notification. Next to it, the little word bubble is your direct message chat. So it will pop open. Looks like it defaulted to channels, which it shouldn't do. It should default to direct messages when you open that one. And then the little calendar button is that last one. People can actually request meetings with you. That's a functionality we'll look at later as well. But that's that little top bar.
Okay. Going down the left-hand side, you have your different room areas. For Encountering Innovation this year, we will have a main stage area. We will have a network, or we'll have a main stage, we'll have lounges, and we will have round tables and expo hall. The main stage are our larger main stage sessions. So think of them as a webinar style. It's a one-way dialogue with a, you have an option to input Q&A. There's also a chat within there, but it's not one where it's a meeting, much like we're on right now, not a Zoom meeting, more like a Zoom webinar style of a presentation. And so this is where we're gonna have our larger presentations on more the educational outward push of information. Pitch sessions this year, they are not going to be embedded into the platform. This is a different style. We realized that Zoom did not integrate very well with the platform, and you lost a lot of functionality with Zoom. So those are going to be a separate Zoom link external of the platform. But so we won't see going into the pitch sessions within the platform. Networking, we will not have this networking tab this year, so we'll just skip over that. Roundtables, we will have a lot of roundtables this year. These types of sessions are more of your Zoom meetings where you can interact with the facilitator of the roundtable. You can communicate with other attendee goers and that sort of thing. So allowing that free flow of information and networking to happen within a session. Your expo hall is where all of the virtual booths will be held. Every single attendee goer, every single company, I should say, sponsor, resource partners will have the opportunity to have a booth should they so choose. And I'm going to let Valerie talk about the features of the booth.
Sure.
Assets is a problem that can not only lead
I
to
don't know why
waste
that
and
automatically played. Hang on. I'm going to go back real quick. So the expo hall looks like this. It's a little bit skewed right now. Looks a little screwy. They updated how some of the images import, so it will look better this year. This was just the default from whatever we had last year. So some of it looks real tiny and strange. Ignore that. It's going to look prettier this time around. It's lined out. You can see literally all the companies that were in here from last year. We also were able to make our own categories. So you can look at all right now is what we're looking at. I can switch to just looking at our 3 sponsor booths. One of them was us, one of them was SBDC, and then SBA. Or we can look at just the 58 technologies that were essentially in attendance and presenting and pitching and all that kind of stuff. So we will actually have more categories this year as well, I think is what we were floating around ideas for, to actually separate out some of the different categories for pitchers or companies themselves. Still toying about what will exactly look like, but you'll be able to filter, I think, a little bit more. And going into a booth, I am going to go back to the one that Jessica clicked. It does have a video. I'm going to try and stop it.
Assets is a problem that can not only.
So this is what a booth will look like. Jessica went through and picked out a couple of good examples. Some people filled out their booths much more than others. The hope is that everybody fills out a booth and has a lot of cool stuff to look at. This is an example of one that was pretty cool from last year. So this company actually had a video you can link out to. I believe YouTube is embedded. There are others like Vimeo will link in. Is there a third, I believe?
I believe there's a couple other, but we can get those FAQs out.
Yeah, YouTube, Vimeo, they link right in, as you can see right here in this top section. This company also has a document that they uploaded as a PDF. So anybody who comes into this booth can click right on it and open up the document. That's essentially some more of their poster board that would be a physical piece of paper or something that they would have brought when we were doing this in person. And then their company rep, Roman Sandoval, is down here as well. So he actually, he's got his photo there, name. You can click on the calendar button to create a meeting request, click on the chat button to chat, or the blue button adds him as a connection.
So Valerie, quick question. Is that an hour and 33-minute video?
That's a 1 minute and 33-second video.
Oh, okay. So would you recommend an hour-long video?
That's a good question.
I would not personally, as a conference goer, I would not sit there for an hour to watch someone's video.
Good answer. So a minute, that's a minute and 33 seconds.
Yeah.
So like a snapshot in time. Okay, just got it. All right.
Yes. I believe you could probably put more links below. So if you just had an opening video, you know, the really cool attention grabbing one here, but you maybe had another short video, you know, 3 minutes or less, you could link another video down here. I don't believe there's a maximum on things you can link. Other booths have had 5, 10 documents, different kinds of things. Yes, good question. They also have the opportunity to add on the back end all of your social media links. So Roman put in his LinkedIn and it will go out there if I click it. I know that it let me add Facebook and Twitter to my own for the Kansas SBDC location as well. So social media is also embedded if you want to go connect on LinkedIn. And then over here, the chat section does default when you go into AlloSense's booth, it's the AlloSense chat. So you can actually type a message to Roman in here and he would get it. It would notify him up here in this little button for his own login. As well as if this company did have multiple representatives, it would message all of them. So any of them would be able to check and see who's hanging out in their booth and trying to get a hold of them. So for example, if we have Kansas SBDC and we have Jessica, myself, Alan, Bill, all in it, we all forward get a notification, hey, somebody's in the Kansas SBDC booth trying to get a hold of you. Any questions so far? I talk pretty fast. Interrupt me if you do have any. Awesome. More information in this booth. So up here, there's this title section. We were just in the video homepage of that booth. If you click company details, it will open up. It doesn't change anything really down here, but it Roman entered a little paragraph about his business. So you can actually open that up. There's an offer button as well. Curious if he has anything in here. I believe it's the same kind of title. We do have offers available. We may change this. We have the ability to change what this tab is titled, but we did run a digital marketing day, 1-day event through JCCC in May. And this is actually really cool because some of our speakers offered things such as 1 hour of free social media evaluations or 30-minute social media training that they were offering to anybody in the conference. So you could go click the offer button, kind of see what everybody was giving out as like perks, that kind of thing. And then to the left of that, to the right of that, my words don't work backwards, is the request a meeting button. So you can actually click on any booth you might be interested in, click request a meeting. It's going to fail because it's not allowed. I'm the event host and it doesn't want me to do it. But usually this will open and say request a meeting. It sends a chat. You can even suggest a time within the platform. Bad example since it's not going to let me do it. Okay, what was your next one that you had?
So then we'll go down to,
Cool.
So any questions on the booths and their functionality and how to communicate with the companies? No? Okay. So another way that you can connect with attendee goers is through this attendee area. This is set up much like the expo hall where you have the different filters up at the top. Right now we're on all attendees and it's structured much like the booth screen. Everybody has their own tile. In the expo hall, every company had a tile. In this attendee tab, every single conference goer has their own tile. And it's here where you can learn more about individuals. Definitely helps if they fill out the more information. It looks like Michael uploaded a video on the SBA, which is amazing to see. And you can meet him. So much like scheduling the meeting in the last area, you can also schedule a direct meeting with Michael if he's accepting it. You can chat with him directly through the little text bubble, or you can connect with him. Connecting with him, if you send a connect request, he will get a notification up here in his bell saying someone has requested a connection, and then he would have to accept it. Once he accepts, you both are friends under My Connections. And then you can go in to your connections, not only text chat, but you can also go in and video chat. So this is just like a Zoom meeting, one-on-one, maybe more like FaceTime. You're FaceTiming or you're Skyping someone, but it's all done within the platform and just you and the other person. So you can have a private one-on-one meeting with that connection without ever leaving the conference. And then again, you can schedule a meeting through My Connections. This suggested for you is a new feature this year, and it looks like I have no suggestions for friends right now. So I think that is an algorithm that's ran in the background, and they'll pop up suggestions. Any questions on the attendee section? Nope. Okay. The final thing I want to show everyone is the analytics behind the scenes of the booth. So each company will have their own backstage access, so to say, to their booths. And it's in this My Booth section. Right now, you are looking, we have capability of seeing everybody's backstage since we're the admin of the site. But what you're going to see at the back end of the booth is when you go in, you're going to see your leads. And I think this is one of the most important features of the booth and why your booth needs to be as populated as possible. You want to invite people into your booth because once you do that, you have a list of leads. It gives you their email address, the time they came in. When you download the lead list, you're going to see what documents they clicked on. So it's very powerful to use for after the conference in continuing the connections that you make during the conference. The chat with a lead, if you're in the backstage of your booth and you're in the backstage of your booth when someone's in the front end of your booth, so you're just standing on opposite sides of the table, you can chat back and forth through this area. You can also do it from the front end as well. Company details, this is where you will actually upload everything on your booth and make it look as robust as possible. Your team, Valerie and I will set up your booths on the back end to begin with the initial person. You can go in and add new staff yourself. So if you have another team member that's attending the conference and you would like to also be a booth administrator, you can add them through this area. And then products, if you wanted to add a product. I know some of the exhibitors last year actually had some of their products for sale and they added them within their booth. So are there any questions on the back end of the booth? One thing I did not mention about this analytics area is you may notice under the ratings, there's a couple of people that are unrated and then there's a warm. This heat indicator right here indicates how many times a person went into a booth looking at different areas. If a document was down, if they looked at this document maybe 4 or 5 times, I don't know the exact analytics behind what turns an unrated to a warm, but they looked at it numerous amount of times, this would turn to a warm lead. So this just lets you know how interested they were in the information you had in your booth. And one last feature for this year that we will have are the lounges. There's not a lounge right now that you can see, but much like the exhibitor area and the attendees, there's going to be a tile and it's a lounge. And it's just, it's more like a Zoom meeting again, without a a Zoom meeting without an agenda. Just a lounge to go hang out. We are going to have some themed lounges. So maybe medical is going to be the theme. So if you're interested in talking medical, then you can go into that lounge and talk to like-minded individuals on the medical topic at any time. So Alan, if there's no further questions, I think we are finished and turn it back over.
So this is your opportunity to speak up. We've got, whether you're a statewide resource like SBDC in one of the states, or you're an innovator or one of our advanced manufacturers, any questions, any thoughts, any comments?
So,
Righty. Oh, we got
Alan,
something.
yeah, Alan. So there's a little bit of lag there to kind of hit the mute button or unmute button. So Jessica, one of the things that I thought would be beneficial, and I've shared this with Alan, is this idea of the different state SBDCs that are anchors for those respective states being kind of moved out of the exhibitor page or exhibitor tab to under something like the sponsor tab or something else in that space, so that each particular client of those SBDCs have that visual of how that works out. Just want to hear your thoughts around that.
I was muted. No, I think that's a great idea. So last year we put a special category for tech coaches for a booth, and then you could see the individual states. It doesn't look very pretty right now, just because of the way that the formatting did whenever they upgraded the platform. It will look better once we get it live, the real one going this year. But would something like this work, where there's a tech coach area, or we could even name that something different, but have all the different states have their own booth?
Yeah, I think that's a great start. Maybe we should get offline to kind of talk about what that description should look like and what that needs to be broken up to. But I do think it kind of brings a lot of value add to all the different stakeholders. So yes.
Perfect. Yes, I would love to brainstorm that and what would be the best for the attendee goers to understand what they were looking at. Absolutely.
So Jessica, as a follow-up with that, what kind of training might be available up to the platform live, and then reminding when the platform live happens versus when the conference starts, and how long the platform is open?
Sure. So the platform is, as of right now, up to 7 days prior to the conference start, is live. And attendee goers can go in and look at the expo hall, look at the attendees, and I believe the agenda. And those are the only 3 items that will be visible at that time. Our intent is to get people on as soon as possible. So the sooner we have registrants, the sooner we can upload. We plan on only doing a couple of uploads of attendees. It's easier to do the mass uploads than it is to do individual uploads to the platform. So that is our intent. As far as accessing content after the conference, you have up to 30 days to access the platform, make connections, go back and watch videos of the main stages that you possibly missed, download your analytics from your booth, download your connections from your own personal profile, which is awesome. So back in that attendees area where you made connections, you can download those connections and take them with you for after the 30 days. So you will have that. So you have 30 days after the conference closes for that.
So let me ask you a quick follow-up on the 30 days. Is there any new content? Can we have a live event during those 30 days, like every Wednesday afterwards?
I guess I'm not following your question.
So can we expand the conference from a week to a month? In other words, we do a week worth of stuff and then the next Wednesday, we put something out that we held back and we put it out on Wednesday or that type of thing.
Not through the platform, no.
Okay, so the only way to do that would be to record something and then put it on the platform that we didn't have live.
We would have to put it on the platform prior to the close of conference.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm just thinking of ways to try to keep the platform current. So if Bijou, you and others, if you guys can think about that, we may not put something live during the conference week, but we put it into the platform. We still put it there, and then it's there available for everyone. That might be a way. Then next week we could remind people, hey, this is what we held back.
I think
Just
the
a thought.
challenge there, it might be cost. There might be a cost associated, but Jessica, you can answer that. There might be a cost associated with keeping the platform live beyond X number of days, and I don't know what that cost is.
So I can answer that cost, but we'll just say that the platform will be dead after 30 days as far as
Okay.
access to the platform. Yes,
Got it.
that is beyond our budget.
Hey, this is David. I've got to follow up on Alan's double follow-ups. The different states, SBDCs. I know for me as an attendee and participant, it would be very helpful to be able to see some tags or categories that those SBDCs are currently working or have been able to work from previous conferences. That way it doesn't look like it's just another geography point. And then I do have a question, and that is, as far as submitting a video on the pitch side, should I submit a pitch as a video as well, like with Loom or something that shows the pitch and me in a live recording, or you recommend not really submitting that type of a pitch into a video for the pitch side?
So I'm gonna ask Bill to speak up on this, but if I got you right, David, what I think the first thing we need to for everyone is if we do what we think we're going to do, we're going to have 50 plus innovators, tech transfer folks, and then we're going to have up to 200 matchmaking companies. That's a lot of content on the site. So I highly recommend a kind of the onion approach, if you will, a very thin, very captivating first video, and then more of a deep dive. If we're right on the booth, then what you can do is create intrigue and interest, and then further, for all of us, think of yourself, if you're going to go perusing through this, you're going to look at quick content. Even if it's a 5-minute video, you're going to opt out probably within 20 seconds. You're going to go, okay, I've seen enough. It's not me. And so I think if we do the shallow and a little deeper in snippets, I think you'll have more content. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thanks.
Ann?
Hi, yes, I have a question, and that would be, how many different ways are there to participate? I see that, there are the innovators who are going to be kind of competing for an opportunity to be highlighted. Is there a separate category for exhibitors that is apart from that? And then for the participants, what about that? And all the associated deadlines, are they all posted in one central place on the Kansas KSBCD website? Or where can I go for that whole big picture?
That's a great question, Ann. I wish I had paid you to do that. As it is, you volunteered it, so I can't pay you. Actually, this year we're proud to state. I don't think Jessica. I was taking notes in some of that, so Jessica, I don't think you stated it. But we're doing everyone that comes in has the ability to access a variety of things depending on who you come in as. But no matter what you come in as, the cost to the platform is $129. So it doesn't matter if you're an attendee as general conference, or if you're an innovator, tech transfer, or you're matchmaking in that regard. What you do, so in the intake, and we're going to cover that in just a few minutes. So as soon as Jessica's done, we're going to flip over to I got a short slide deck as our cue cards, but we'll cover the tech transfer, as well as the matchmaking, and help everyone understand that no matter who you are, you can participate in either or both, depending on where you're at with your company and your technology. How's that?
Great.
Cool.
And
Any
then
other?
is the,
Yep.
I'm sorry, is the go-to place for all the deadlines and just what you would need to know, is that on your website? Or I know I've received an email and I need to, I've been traveling, so I need to refresh that, but I thought I'd ask.
Sure. So yes, it will be on our website. It's on our e-center. I'm actually going to, depending on how much time we have, I'm going to show that as well. So hopefully I'm going to do what I just recommended to David. I'm going to try to do a brief overview and then a little bit more and a little bit more, a little bit deeper to where everyone gets it. Any other questions to the platform?
Real quick, not a
Yeah,
question, because I
sure.
shouldn't have any own questions about my own stuff. Alan had asked a question that we didn't answer, and that was for what kind of trainings will be available before the conference. So we have this recording, obviously, we're doing right now. I will also be creating shorter walkthrough videos with a screen share to kind of do exactly what we did, but more detailed for each section. So I did this with our May conference. It worked splendidly. But if you hate videos and don't want to listen to a bunch of my voice, I'm going to also do screenshots with written PDF steps too. So you can listen to me or you cannot listen to me. We'll have multiple ways to get you the information. Once the registration lists start coming in, which we will have, because the payment portion when you pay and register is on my end, mine and Jessica's. I'll have access to everybody who needs to get that emails with the videos and the PDF versions of the videos.
All right. So Jessica, I don't know if you said it with what you just said, or if you said it earlier, because I know we talked about this. One of the things Jessica is going to do is do a tour with the platform for our tech scouts. So we're, as a follow-up, we're hoping to get her to do the same thing with our primes and our second, third, as however Rick Slater defines those second and third tier companies. The idea is what we want to be able to do is take the primes and the tech scouts on a tour where we don't just accept the fact that they'll do it on their own. The tech scouts are pretty good at sitting in a chair and us parading through in pitch sessions, so we understand how they operate. So we're going to utilize that same MO, if you will, to do a tour. So Valerie's planning on doing that as well. So we highly recommend for all of you to set up your booth, get it in a way to where understand that there's going to be a tour bus come by and they're going to see you. And if you see it from that perspective, for the tech scouts and then the primes, you realize people are going to see you. How's that? Is that right?
Well, now I like the fact that I can consider myself a tour bus driver, and I need to get myself one of those little microphones to the right. Look out the window.
Very good. Yeah. Yeah. I think the more we think about this from a physical conference, the easier it is for me, and hopefully it is for you. And then that way we start navigating this like we normally would, instead of getting all uptight because it's just on a screen. And because of that, our virtual conference, we're going to have more attendees from our primes than we would normally, because they don't have to cover a budget for travel that is at the end of their fiscal year and makes it difficult for them to travel. Same thing with our tech scouts. Last year, we've had several tech scouts that popped in just for certain technologies. So one of the things we're doing, which is how you help us, is to get registered, get into the intake as soon as you can, where we can get that information up to our two specialists, for Bill Carey for the tech transfer and Rick Slater for the matchmaking, to where we get that information out to the primes and out to the tech scouts. The more we can get that information out to them sooner, the more attendees we'll have from Department of Homeland Security, FBI, NASA, DOD, Combatant Command, specific, all together. All right, well, Jessica, I want to thank you and Valerie so much. I think everyone, we should give them a round of applause.
Alan, just a second. One more. I've got a quick question.
Well, Bijou, you're grossly out of time, but try.
Okay, Jessica, a quick question. One of the things we ran into last time, and this is more from an operational, the green room, red room thing we were doing in person, is when you're developing a separate tag, if you may, for the SBDC's staff, is the credentialing so that they can walk into the presentation. We kind of had to all pull together separately and then get credentialed individually to access the presentation room. But if if you could look into some way so that the particular SBDCs, be it Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas, and anywhere else, that they would have the credentials so as to walk into those presentations sort of smoothly. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Okay, nope, appreciate that. We'll make a note of that and work that out on the back end.
Thank you.
Jessica, we also have a question. When will registration be available?
And the registration for the application and the payment side are both live now. Alan, are those posted on the Encountering Innovation site or will be?
They will be. I don't know if they are because with all the things we've been doing, we're getting that double checked. We'll cover that in just a few seconds. So we'll show people how to get there very easily.
Perfect.
Cool.
Okay. Well, thanks for having us, Alan. And if there's any further questions, you know how to get a hold of me and we'll get some answers out.
I thank you so much. You guys did a fantastic job. You took over the whole program. Everybody's like captivated. You did great. I think they're rock stars. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Thanks. Take care. And let's see, make sure I can do this. I got a lot of stuff open, so it's kind of challenged. Okay, everyone see Encountering Innovation. Oh, that's not, I hope this is where we want. I may have a different, I'm at the end, no wonder. There we go. Okay. Okay, everyone see Encountering Innovation from tech transfer to contracting?
Yes.
Great, okay.
Yes.
So first of all, first question that I got from, I think, Michael Barrera with SBA was, when is the conference again? It's September 13th through the 17th. So that's the date of the conference. According to Jessica, the platform, certain portions of it will be live up to a week ahead of time. And then the conference platform will be live for an entire month. I'm going to try my best to make sure that we figure out a way to remind folks to come back. So I've made a note of that. I think of seeing old classic episodes of Leave It to Beaver, you name it, Father Knows Best. Wouldn't it have been cool if they'd have held back one episode per year, and then years later, you got to see a new episode that you hadn't seen before? I just think that how cool to have thought that far in advance. That's kind of what I'm thinking about with the conference. If it's going to be a platform that you can use for a month, I'd love to figure out a way that we send out an email to all the folks saying, hey, we just now letting you know, unless you found it. So if you got some ideas on content to keep it current for a month, let me know. So I want to quickly remind everyone from a perspective of where we've been with Encountering Innovation and how we're going to try to pull our innovators across the line, if you will. In the past, we started in 2017 with our tech transfer. It was in October. We started in Wichita. Then we moved quickly in 2018, 2019 to our Johnson County Community College, Overland Park. And they've been our physical location for 2018, 2019. Then COVID showed up. In 2020, we moved to a virtual platform. I believe as we move forward, we will continue a virtual platform to some degree. Well, I know there's some interest in physical and conferencing, but I know there's some great benefit to virtual. Just a little note, in 2018, we had a virtual platform. Department of Homeland Security joined us in 2018 virtually through Zoom as a tech scout. So we've been working in this environment for quite some time to try to make that happen. Our focus initially was on DoD tech scouts. I won't go into all the combatant demands and how that works, but basically what they did was they were interested, first of all, in attraction and interest. And so as I speak to this, and I realize we're tight on time, so I'm talking fast, but I invited Tim Carty because in his pitch to the tech scouts, he was here, I think, in 2018. And Tim, where you can talk for a second? I purposely had him here because I wanted to know from a participation and pitch in his perspective, did it add any value? Did it do anything for your company by pitching to the tech scouts? I know you're dark, so I don't know if you're there or not, and you are muted if you're talking. Okay, I see Jim Wilkinson, sorry about that, Jim, saying he could speak to that. Jim, yeah.
Turn it up.
There, I'm trying to unmute. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, yeah, I presented in 2018, and I didn't get any direct leads on our program. However, it set the stage for what we just had was the Air Force Collider, and Brett gave me a whole bunch of list of new contacts from that, and I actually am ready to circle back now, and you guys need to understand that this is because I wasn't really ready on some of this, and but now I've developed a gun specifically to the FBI's request, and I'm working on getting a hold of the guy that I met at the Encountering Innovation that said, when you're ready, I'm very interested in your guns. And so I'm working on getting back a hold of him again to circle back. And the exposure was great. The learning experience, understanding, hearing firsthand from the tech scouts what they're really looking for and what would really sell. You know, I mean, face it, we're all here to sell something to, you know, the DoD or to one of these other businesses. So hearing firsthand from them, for me, was invaluable and allowed me to pivot a little bit to be better suited. And with that, we have a lot of government and military agencies that we're talking to and working with, and hoping to have some sales even this year yet. So.
Very good. Thanks, Jim. Tim, I see you guys are on screen.
Yes, sir. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Would you repeat your question to me, please?
So basically, it's kind of a loaded question because I know the answer, but most of our folks probably don't. When you pitched in 2018, beyond getting a direct contract, was there any value that happened to your company based on the fact that you actually pitched to the tech scouts in that private meeting?
Absolutely. We ended up getting embedded in several different government agencies on policy, and also on our technology. We went through and with a fine tooth comb, and they verified our science, and that has slingshotted us to the very forefront when it comes to the EMP mitigation in different parts of the country. Absolutely. The contacts that we made with Stratcom, Northcom, et cetera, have done wonders. So
from a perspective of understanding SBIR and 3.5 billion in grant funding, and I think that number is starting to migrate upward. Part of what Tim just talked about, the DoD spends about 85 billion a year in beyond just the same as what you would think of an SBIR grant, and that is in prototype testing, field testing, and a lot of other ways that migrating that technology forward. And so part of the value that you can get from participating is being invited into a program where they could actually test what you're doing. Tim, I also think you guys had your venture capital folks at your event. Because you presented at one of the RICs, or that person did, and spoke about the fact that he was so excited watching the response from the Tech Scouts that he went back and did some things as well. Is that correct?
Yes, we did a lot of our funding directly after that. And that also gave the additional credibility and substantiated everything that we had in our business plan. So it definitely helped all the way around.
How many specific contracts do you have with the DoD right now, or that you can admit?
None right now.
But it was helpful.
It was extremely helpful, and we have developed products that we are actually testing right now specifically for them, for what that we have designed specifically for them, custom design.
Great. That's what I wanted. I'd love to hear all the contracts that have happened, but I want to point out to the reality, but how it's helped you. And thank you very much. That's part of what I want to point out from a Tech Scout perspective. What we've had in the past is, I think, first of all, is the traction and interest. Then second of all is the socialization or the introduction to program managers. The third is, from mine and Bill's perspective, Bill Carey, I believe what we witness is what I'm calling an adoption. The Tech Scouts, depending on how many are there, tend to adopt one or two technologies that become personal to them. It's kind of like venture capital. Your venture capitalists, if they're not personally into, or angel investors, if it's not their expertise or their focus, then in most cases, they don't have anything to do with it. We see the Tech Scouts tend to adopt one or two. So the more Tech Scouts we can get and the more socialization we can get, the more adoption potential we have. That doesn't mean you get a contract. That means that they move you forward. Some of the things that Tim spoke of. I won't go more deeper into that because I just want to cover that from a perspective of history. Now let's move over to the prime contractors. What the prime contractors, and Rick has talked about, Rick Slater, and what we've covered in the past in Lunch and Learns, and we will continue to cover as we train and bring you forward, is that the primes are looking at NASA taxonomy needs. Specific needs are 17 that we have that are on the taxonomy list, and in a moment we'll go through and show you where that is. There are also contractors. So they seem to be moving towards migrating and outsourcing manufacturing. So if you're manufacturing, there are opportunities for you, even if you're not innovating for taxonomy. There's manufacturing needs on a regular basis. So that's another channel. Then we have the second, third, and fourth tier contractors that already have relationships with prime contractors. They've already told us that they're looking at other tech innovation needs. They're looking at expanding their manufacturing footprint, their existing footprint, exactly what they do now. And then they're looking to expand different capabilities for other contract opportunities. Okay, so there's more opportunities. So if you're an Encountering Innovation tech transfer company, and you've come in the past, or you're coming this year to DoD Tech Scouting, what we want to point out to is that answering the matchmaking portion of the survey doesn't cost you an extra penny. It costs you extra time. You have to spend more time in that portion of the survey. But if you complete it, this is a collaborative process. So if you fill this out and you go, I can't find my taxonomy. I know I'm there, but I don't know what it is. Well, then if you leave it blank and you put verbiage down in the place where you can, then Rick's going to see that. What we're going to try to do is our best is to help you match what your taxonomy should be, and then help you. What the primes are going to do, what they've done that our DoD Tech Scouts do through Bill, is you pick a specific taxonomy, one or two of those, then the primes are going to be searching through those specifics. Once they see the specifics, they'll deep dive what you've written, okay? If you write, but you don't have a specific, chances are they're going to miss you altogether. But if you have a specific that matches them, and then you deep dive, then you've got a chance that they'll see you, okay? So that's part of what we're wanting to help you understand, that as we're going to go back and send a specific invitation to our existing Encountering Innovation tech transfer clients that have pitched in the past, to have you come, and if you're not pitching to the Tech Scouts, much of Ann Dupuy's question a while ago, we want you to come and answer the matchmaking side and enter matchmaking. Even if you do that and nothing else, Valerie's already said she's going to take our Tech Scouts on tour. So what we're hoping to have happen, that even if you don't pitch like you did in the past, our Tech Scouts are going to come through the tour bus and they're going to see that you're there. And if they have interest, if they've adopted you in the past, or if they have needs. We had this question the other day. Our Tech Scouts have advanced manufacturing needs to solve other technologies that they've adopted. I know, because I've listened to them. So when the Tech Scouts go through and see you on the matchmaking side, they may contact you because they have specific needs that they're not even sharing with you. Okay? Does that make sense? And I'm talking fast, and I know, but I'm hoping that it'll make sense. So that was the idea, and I wanted to reach out specifically. I invited David Thorne. I'm gonna call him out on purpose, but David has applied specifically to the tech side, to the tech transfer Encountering Innovation. And I wanted him to see this, and invited Tim Cardy as a previous or past DoD tech transfer pitch to see, does it make sense to you? Then David, do you see this as, I still think I should only tech transfer only, do that portion of the survey, or now I see opportunity on the matchmaking?
Well, I definitely see opportunity on the matchmaking. In fact, that's a big reason why I'm engaged with this process right now.
And
Any
Alan,
thoughts? Yeah, go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, if I could add one thing. When we first started talking about the matchmaking, going through this, the original intent was to be able to meet with the primes. And I ran it by 2 or 3 of the small businesses, and they said, hey, the primes are nice, but they're tough to get to. One of the things that would be even better for us is to allow the small businesses to choose other small businesses to matchmake with. And the reason is we are always looking for people that we can partner with, companies we can partner with. And more importantly, if I'm trying to say get some DoD in a certain area and get involved with the DoD in Kansas or Wichita or whatever, he said, I'm going to be looking for companies that already have inroads into Wichita now. So when I go through your list, I'm going to go looking for those companies that already are based in Wichita. And so what we really got from that is that small businesses are looking for folks they can partner with that allows them to expand their business. And for that reason, we just opened it up so that the matchmaking would be not just meeting primes and allowing primes to select small businesses, but let small businesses select other small businesses.
Gotcha. So any other comment or thought, David?
Yeah, I think for us as an innovator, we know who we are, and thanks to falling on our faces a few times, we kind of know where we might fit with some of the primes or subs. And one of our existing contracts with the Fortune 100 kind of taught us a little bit about that as well. So for us, we're looking for direction, we're looking for help, we're learning. And we have a healthy respect for what Richard just stated, which is the larger the organization, the longer it takes for something to really materialize, to see an innovation really plug in and do some good. and we're just about trying to do some good. So if it's a smaller business, that's great. Anything we can do to bring footprints and enlarge what's going on for the entire and carrying innovation is a win for us.
Great. I want to remind you, one of our premier tech scout in the country that has brought us into this was Brett Sheringhausen. And Brett has told us, I've used the story about the Band-Aid. And for those of you that haven't heard it, very quickly, he was introduced to a young lady who was 10 years old, 10 or 11. So it depends on what part during the process. But she told him about that she had learned that copper helps coagulate the human blood faster. And she said, here you go. Now Papa's going to demonstrate. And he proceeds to cut himself twice and puts a regular Band-Aid and then a copper infused Band-Aid, which coagulated faster. And he said, the rest is history. He said, years later, she's a multimillionaire. So it just goes to show you, you can be an innovator and you can be young enough in your commercialization or in your business that you don't understand all that you need to do. Hopefully SBDC is there for you. But the fact is, if the need is there, there's a way to get you where you need to be. So that's the first end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum is we have a variety of opportunities. We only know of the non-classified. So when you come and you present or you speak or our tech scouts are able to see you, then there's opportunities that you may or may not know about. In this case, Brett told us about bringing 17 technologies together for one product that they took to DoD. So you may be part of something else. And that's where we're hoping to highly encourage our tech innovators to do something we have not done the last 4 years. And that is to move over to the matchmaking side, look at the taxonomy. It may be new to you. The DoD's looking at it and saying, we want to embrace the taxonomy and see how it fits for us. It's technologies, basically. But look on the NASA side of this, pick your best choice, do your best. Remember, it's collaborative. You can literally put in there, hey, Rick, I'm going to state this. I'm uncomfortable because do whatever to give us the communication. Bill Carey is seeing all the tech for the DoD, and Rick will see everything on the NASA/DoD matchmaking side. We will be back in training and specifically giving information out to each of you. We will have a close the door, if you will, to your editing capabilities at some point. We will let you know that close to the end of July into August, where they get that information out to the primes and out to the tech scouts. Okay, but we want to encourage you to understand it's a collaborative process. There is judgment going on, but it is collaborative during that process. Let's see, we're over time. I want to thank our roundtable, Tim Carty. I didn't hear from, so I did want to ask David Cool. David, if you're where you can speak up, as an advanced manufacturer, do you see opportunity? Does this seem like something you would be interested in getting involved in with your organization now that you see second and third tier companies looking to expand, or from the prime perspective?
Well, yeah, I think that's absolutely some great opportunities here to get into this further. I mean, we have worked hard at getting into a lot of new customers, and this is just another part of that. And I think you're going to miss out if you do not participate.
Great. I didn't pay David to do that. I wasn't sure what he would say. David has been in the past as a client. He has been one of the most proactive, and I think he's, in my opinion, he's like the second, third tier companies. He's out there doing stuff that whenever he's successful, other companies that would not do what he does become successful because they end up having to, they end up getting an opportunity to work with him from his outreach. I hope you understand what we're talking about. We're in overtime. So for those of you that need to leave, I'm going to say thank you for participating. I know Bill Carey's the guy that challenges me to close the door at 1. I want to demonstrate for purposes of our recording, so I'm going to switch, if I can, I'm going to stop share, then I'm going to reshare because I don't think I can do it otherwise. So I'm going to stop my screen sharing, and then I'm going to pull it over, and then I'm going to reshare. And I see we've got folks from Economic Development, Department of Commerce. So I want to thank you folks, as well as our SBA. We have been talking with SBA because they've in the past done their own matchmaking. And I know we've been a part of that in the region where I was at before, but from what I see, what we did before compared to what we're doing now, we're trying to make the matchmaking so much more. If you haven't seen some of that with the capability statement or the capabilities matrix, then understand the first step to that is our survey. So what we want you to do is get on with this. Understand that there is opportunity. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so are you seeing Google this?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay,
Yeah.
so first step is if you just go to our tech, you go to sbdc.net and then you click on tech, or in my case, I've got it shortcut. So just show you. All you got to do is go to our statewide website. Right in the middle is tech commercialization. You click on the tech commercialization. Our information that we're talking about is right here. So on our events page, this is so new to us that you will see Encountering Innovation, and then you'll see Matchmaking separated. Those two have been combined. So our Matchmaking 2.0 and Encountering Innovation are all part of the same conference with that crossover that we just talked about. When you click to the go-to page, you'll be able to go to that information. When you go now, we go to our Encountering Innovation website. So our Encountering Innovation website lets you go to the application from before. What we will send you as existing innovators, we will go, when you, if you come in new, we've restated our information where you understand the opportunity in the conference itself. If you go to the survey, you will see two parts to the survey. In the past, what you've seen let me back up. In the past, what you've seen was what we call our tech transfer survey. What you'll see now are two parts to the survey. We're limited in our ability to be able to make it hopefully simple enough that you only see part of it. We're helping you understand that there's the tech transfer portion. If you're coming for matchmaking only, most of our advanced manufacturers, David Cool as an example, will probably do matchmaking only. So we ask that question right up front to get put away the tech transfer portion of the survey. You complete the matchmaking. If you're a tech transfer client, we're highly encouraging you to do the tech transfer and then continue to the matchmaking. That's why we ask it that way. Are you matchmaking only? You skip tech transfer. If you're technology, we hope that you'll consider doing the matchmaking as well. Hopefully that makes sense. It's a little bit of how our system works, but we're trying to get you to do both sides. If you do, then two different folks, we're going to have Rick Slater on the matchmaking side, and then Bill Carey and Vicky on the tech transfer side will be able to help you. To the question we had earlier, will we be able to see all the information on the website? Right now, you see the virtual conference. If you go back and look at the way we were in the past, you will see how we used to be. We've got to go back and change to help understand or explain to others. But for all of you that have pitched in the past, you have all of our bluffs are right here from 2017 to 2020. Our new ask as we go forward is we're going to ask you to update your bluff. So if you're right now it's on a PDF. So if your bluff, the one paragraph, I think we do 100 words or less. So if you're wherever you are on here, what we're going to ask you to do is to go back and update your poster board or your public document. If you give us that permission, that what we hope to do is we go start trying to do a better job of socializing the bluff, is that those that are looking and interested in your technology, that they would be able to click on that and be able to get your poster board or your public document to read. Understand that when you pitch or you match make, in either case, when you meet with a prime contractor or a tech scout, you're behind closed doors. You're just meeting with them. That's why we call the poster board a public document. In that case, anything that you would have held back, make sure you hold back, because what we're talking about is making this a public document to where we can help socialize you in a way that we can help connect you. The final part that even Rick Slater spoke of a while ago, a big portion of what we're trying to accomplish in this year's conference is getting technologies together. Barbara Bonner in Oklahoma has done a great job of getting their cohorts to meet. If she said it was somewhat accidental to begin with, we're trying to make it more intentional. That's going to happen on the matchmaking side or through the networking portions. So part of what we're trying to do is create those tours. Anyway, I hope I know I've spoken fast because I knew we were running into overtime, but if I want to open up for questions or comments.
I have
Alan?
a quick question. Oops, sorry.
Hey, go ahead, Lori.
You know how I told everybody that NASA is looking for topics for NASA iTech? Would you be okay with me, and they want to do it from knowing that these small businesses exist with these cool technologies? Would you suggest me going through the previous 17, 18, 19, 20? Maybe I could give that to NASA. Would you have a problem with that?
Absolutely not. It's public now. They could go to it right now.
Okay, I'll give them that link and say, hey, here's a thought. You want to find out what businesses are out there and tied to encountering innovation, then there's a whole list of them. I'll figure out how to do that the easiest and get it straight to NASA headquarters.
So I can basically, I'm sorry, I clicked the wrong link. When you go to Encountering Innovation, which is a separate website, and you go to Innovator Plus, up here at the top, you can see all you got to do is grab encounteringinnovation.com/Innovator Plus, and that'll take them to this page. They're not interactive. When you go, you end up with a PDF of each of these segments. That's the way we have it right now. But we plan to, that's part of the big ask, is to go back and ask our clients, the poster board, to get it updated where we can tie those together.
Okay, I'll probably get it to the lead that is in charge of this instead of having our NASA guy, because he may not want to go through it, but I'll just figure out the easiest way to do that. That's perfect for what I'm trying to do.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
So for David Thorne, whenever you apply, then your bluff will end up over here. So we'll have
That happened Monday. We applied Monday, Alan.
There you go. So as we get that process
you told us
through,
you told us to do it, so we did it. And Lori, just so you know, financial wellness and personnel wellness is our category. So just add that one in if you would.
Okay. Thank you.
Alan, can you click on, I guess it's probably what is EI, or where we can go to, or yeah, go up there.
Okay.
And then click on Encountering Innovation. And then apply today. And just as for everyone, if you are not a current client of Kansas SBDC and you're interested and you want to apply, then you can click on the Apply for EI 2021. If you are an and then you'll go through the process. You'll read through, and then you can come down to new client sign up. This is a hot link, and it'll take you into the sign up process to become a client and then to complete the intake application. And now just do your back button. If you're an existing client or have been a client of the Kansas SBDC and you want to apply, you'll want to fill out this section here, contact email, first name and last name, and then submit. And I will get notification that you would like to apply, and then we'll send you a link, an email with a link to the survey application.
And we will be sending, if you don't, you're still going to get it, because
Yeah.
we're going to send an email to all of our existing from the past explaining the matchmaking and the opportunities. And we're going to send you that opportunity to go ahead and complete it.
And sometimes when those go out, they may go to your spam or junk mail, so you might want to check that as well.
Yeah. We will most likely try to send it 2 ways. We'll send it from what you see, our database, NeoSera is what it's called. All of you are going, what? So we'll send it one way. Then I think we're going to go over to Constant Contact, because Constant Contact seems to do a better job of not irritating server for spam. So we'll probably send it both ways to try to get it to you. That pretty much covers. I wanted to give you an idea that we will have to where if you just go through Kansas SBDC, if it'll let us get there, I don't think that's going to that way. That from Kansas SBDC, you can navigate through and actually even get to the application. With Encountering Innovation, or you go through our events. After next week, Encountering Innovation and Matchmaking will be all together. And when you click here, then you'll go, this tells you a little bit what we just said, and that takes you to the same location, to the website, and you'll be able to apply. Questions or comments? Let me stop my screen share.
Alan, we did have a question. Does if they want to participate in the Encountering Innovation Matchmaking event, do they have to be a Kansas SBDC client?
They don't have to be, they will become one. So, and there's no cost.
Or do they have to become one in order to participate? Yes.
Yes. If you go back to, let's see, apply now, let's see, we're up here. We actually even explain it, I think when you hit the new
sign up.
Yeah, when you do the new client sign up, we give you, we had this written by Rick, mostly Rick and Bill. So from a very much a science or engineering perspective, we tried to cut to the chase. So we talk about one of the reasons you want to do this is it gives you protection, because our relationship with our funders requires that we have confidentiality. So first thing this does is it gives you confidentiality. It protects you. Second of all, we then have a way to document information to where we can understand and communicate with you better. So those are the 2 main reasons that we do this. Number 3, our time is allocated to the work we do. I know, like an attorney or an accountant. So we allocate our time and we document that information. So you give us the ability to document who we're working with. But in all 3 of those cases, your time as an advising to you is prepaid by the SBA, Kansas Department of Commerce in our case, and our host institutions. We're part of economic impact. We're out there trying to help make it a difference for you. So our advising time is prepaid. So you don't have to pay for it. How's that? Any other questions? Well, I know we're in overtime. I want to, once again, I want to thank those that I asked to participate in this. I hope for you that us covering this, we didn't deep dive any one particular location other than possibly the platform, which is probably one of the most important ones to everyone as we understand what it's going to look like during that week. But the process that we're doing is pretty much what we've done in the past with a little bit of a twist, adding the matchmaking and the survey. Other than that, it's still collaborative. We're still working across multiple states. We're still trying to impress and keep the DoD Tech Scouts coming. We've got a reputation with them now. We want to do the same thing with our primes. We want the primes to know that they need to come back every year for Space Command, Space Force, and NASA, and now DoD, to where that they know that this is a good place to come to get that technology and the advanced manufacturing that they're looking for. All right. You'll see changes to the website in the next few days as we make the application and registration portion of this intake much easier to get to. I thank you all for coming. I'm going to leave. Now we're into the networking portion. Anything anyone wants to say or talk about, you're more than welcome to.
Hey, this is David, and we are new innovators. So any of you that have been through the innovation process, if you wouldn't mind dropping me a line and we need to learn from you.
Very cool. So David, one of the easy ways to connect with everyone is to grab your chat, click on the chat portion, and then put your contact information. I'm like, everything's everywhere on my screens. There's my chat. I was looking for it. So you could type in from there to everyone your contact. There you go.
Alan, this is Jim.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'm working on registering for the Encountering Innovation right now. And I put my information in and hit the submit button. And then I went down and I'm in the Encountering Innovation registration process. And I just sent Vicky, hi Vicky, an email requesting the link for the
survey.
Is the only thing I have left to do then is just to pay? I mean, in terms of getting registered, or what
That's
else?
Correct. Right.
Okay.
There's two parts to it. And I appreciate you asking that, because I was supposed to cover that a little better. And because I knew I was in overtime, I sped through it. Yes, you do the survey, and then you click over and you're able to go to, it's Johnson County Community College, who is our host, Jessica and Valerie. And then when you click over there, we will be coordinating with them. Everyone that does the survey, we will pass those names to her, and everyone that she has registered that pays, she'll pass them back to us. So we'll coordinate and make sure we keep everybody connected.
So, okay, that works. I missed where I didn't do the survey. I missed.
Haven't yet, Jim. And this is a good example because you're an existing client. I have already received email notification that you're interested in applying for Encountering Innovation Matchmaking. So yes. I will now send you an email with a link to the survey. And once you complete that, it will be updated on our system.
Okay, cool. And then that gets me a booth in the expo as well. Doing that.
That will once you have your registration paid, yes.
Excellent. Okay, great. Well, see, I love being a guinea pig. I'm good at that.
Thank you. Well, that was pretty much what the roundtable is about today, was the guinea pig roundtable.
Good deal.
Great. Any other questions or comments? Well, I want to thank all of you for being here. I'll give you a personal note. Yesterday, I was talking to Randy Robinson, who is in charge of, he's our regional director in Pittsburgh, Kansas. And he's working with a lot of interns and supporting our statewide program in the marketing efforts. And I told him, I said, you know, I feel like I just don't quite get there. With all that we're doing. And he said, you know, Alan, he said, when you're innovating and you're moving forward, that's exactly how you feel. You're always adding, you're always making something, you're moving in, you're bringing something in, you're you're adding something new. Your descriptions now, your definitions don't quite match because everything's moving on you. He said, that's normal. And he makes me think of what I've said in the past, and that is when it comes to this environment, it's either chaotic or it's dynamic. It's just a matter of your attitude. And the last few days, I've let my attitude slide from dynamic to chaotic. Part of it was physical. I was under the weather a little bit, but I'm trying to get back to dynamic in that attitude. And Randy reminded me yesterday that we're really doing a lot of stuff to try to move forward. I don't mean that from a bragging perspective. It's more of an explanation to help you understand. If you want to join our cause and you want to move forward, understand there are times that what we're doing as we continue to invent, to innovate, we watch DOD, they're innovating in front of us. We watch them. We are a part of helping explain to them what they need to do. Bijo can talk about that. Oklahoma, I see Glenna, others, Barbara, they can talk about that. We continue to talk to DOD and their tech scouts. We continue to tell them things that we hear from you. We're watching the SBIR program. It's changed a lot from Air Force and Army. We see things happening before our eyes, and it's because of you, the folks that have been working with us. So if you're willing to join the dynamic side of this, come on. And every once in a while, if it kind of gets to you and you're a little more into the chaotic side, maybe you need a pep talk, give one of us a call. I needed it yesterday, so I get it. Hopefully we'll make this thing very much worth your while. Okay, I think we're into the Brady Bunch portion where we got a hand up, Jim.
Okay, so in the spirit of transparency here,
Are we going to have to mute you?
Yes, you might want to. No, not really. Okay, so I mentioned contacting the FBI. So I actually the FBI contact that I've been working with shot our shotguns at range day at SHOT Show 2 years ago. We didn't have one last year, and I developed the shotgun specifically for the needs of the FBI. And it's one of the guns actually that the British are buying. And
congratulations.
It's like, awesome. Well, we don't have the contract. They bought one. Okay, we hope to sell a whole bunch more. It starts with one, right? Anyway,
Amen.
I'm going to be in Quantico for Modern Day Marine, and I want to do and the FBI is right there at Quantico as well. And the guy I've been working with disappeared during COVID, and I haven't been able to get a hold of him. Okay, so I'm trying to find the contact from the FBI that I met when I was at Encountering Innovation 2018. Okay, when I presented.
I can do that.
Did you? I never saw it.
Yeah, we've got that.
Yeah, but if I could get his name and contact info.
Well, so to that, in the spirit of transparency, what you do is you email me or Vicky or Bill, and you say, I want to talk to, and you can say it just like that. I don't remember his name. I do. And say, I'd like to speak to, it's Johnson. I think it's JR or J Johnson. Anyway, all you got to do is say, we want to speak. I'd like to speak to the FBI contact from 2018. And then what we do is we don't give you the contact. We've learned what we do is we reach out to him, and how I would say make it a bluff, a very brief why you want to speak to him, and we'll forward that email to him. If he wants to reach out to you, he will, or in some cases, he'll say, I've moved to a different position. The person he needs to talk to is so-and-so.
Great. That sounds good. I got to check the size of the video. I got a great video of it operating too, so I include that with it. So if it's not
in that regard, if you want to attach something where they can see it, if you'll put it in a way that they can copy and paste instead of making it a hot link, then it doesn't get blocked so they can see the email. Don't put in a hot link. Just say cut and paste here in order to see this 5-minute video. Tell them how long it is. That way you got a better chance that they'll actually watch it.
Okay, great. Yeah, the whole 30 seconds.
Cool. That's perfect. There you go.
Yeah,
They'll
I
probably
like
watch a
it here
30-second
too.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'll get an email over to you because they're setting up a range for us to allow the Marines to do a shooting demo the day before modern day Marine starts. And the guys I'm working with have a lot of contacts there. So it helps to find the people that are already connected to
Sure.
grow my connection base, right? Anyway, so the guys I'm working with, were stationed there, and they know a lot of guys yet. So we're working on that, and then trying to get the FBI over at the same time. Let them try them out as well, because we have
Very
a whole
cool.
lot of other new toys to show them too. So,
Cool. Thank you.
yeah, thank you,
We'll
Alan.
be glad to help.
You bet.
All right. Now I think, unless somebody else speaks, we're in the Brady Bunch, we're in the credits section. So I appreciate your time. Thanks for tolerating my panicking, so to speak. Kelly, I see you there. So we have someone from Wyoming, from our SBDC in Wyoming as well. That's very good. And I've seen several. We've got, I think, hopefully I called you out. We had Texas, Oklahoma, Colorado, Wyoming, my goodness,
Mississippi.
Mississippi. Yeah, Derek. I don't know, did Tracy show up? Tracy Hancock from Nebraska?
No.
She registered, so I was hoping to see her today. Anyway, well, thank you all for being here. Hopefully this launches very well. Please share with others. We will have the website where it will be very simple. All you got to remember is kansassbdc.net, and then click on tech commercialization, and we hopefully will have it very simplified. Right now, it looks like 2 conferences. We'll bring them together, and they'll have one application link. All right. Thank you, folks. We appreciate your time. Make it a great weekend.
See you.